Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Harry Singer Foundation Empowering Women Show. And I know I say it every single time, I get so excited to bring on guests. Let me get straight into introducing who this amazing woman is that you're going to be meeting very, very soon. Let's go right through. It's Dimple Thakrar. And Dimple Thakrar I've known for quite a bit of time, and you know what, every time I connect with her there's even more things that she's achieved. So I'm about to share what I've got so far, but I'm sure there's more and more things that she can share with you herself. So let me give you a bit of a flavor. So I've known her as the love coach, I've known her as the spiritual relationship coach, and I just want to get clear about some of the things that she's achieved so you can see the level she's playing at and how she serves. So I want you to get clear that for 2 decades she's been playing at the top of the game in the coaching field. She's also what I call a world-class speaker. And a world-class speaker means that she is such a high standard when it comes to speaking, but also she gets to take her message and add value around the world. And she's a best-selling author. She invested in a program on Tony Robbins' elite program called the Platinum Partners. And from there, the tools that she took and what she decided to master in was relationships, business, and wealth. So she takes all of this knowledge that she's got and brings it to her clients, but not just her clients, anybody that is blessed to be in her community. She's just so generous with what she can share and how she can impact your life with just a few distinctions, right? And then on top of that, she's been a celebrity guest on BBC TV and also radio. And she's a regular contributor to The Time, The Huffington Post, and Good Housekeeping. And she's won awards from like the Global Women's Group, the whole program there, because this is where she's not just an amazing, empowering woman as a model for other women, she's also serving women passionately through these type of forums. And her mission, and I know what she's passionate about. She's passionate about specifically with business leaders, right? Helping business leaders transform their intimate relationships, because she knows by doing that, ultimately she'll make their businesses flourish and their life, because they get to experience just a higher level of fulfillment. So I could go on and on and on about this amazing soul, but what I want to do is I want to bring her straight to you. Let's bring on Dimple. You there? Thank you so much for taking time out and joining us on this episode. Hey, can you hear us? Can you see us?
Yes. Hi, Harry. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate you.
My pleasure. We always have a giggle about our accents and so on, and I get really excited when people that are not from the UK, they always say, we love the UK accent. I was like, I love the UK accents because there's so many, and I just take mine for granted. So, Dimple, I've given people a flavor of some of the things that you've done, but you know, little birdie tells me you've got really into other. Just let us know how you identify with yourself now, and then maybe give the viewers and listeners a bit about the journey that got you there. So where are you at now, Dimple?
Oh gosh, Harry, thank you. So much has changed and so much is growing. So now I'm an executive relationship strategist. Brilliant. And the reason for that transition from the love coaching over to strategy with executives is because I realized that my gift is working with high level businessmen and then their families and their wives. And so it's very much strategy that they come to me for. And actually, I often give them lots of extra spiritual stuff that they really had no idea that they needed, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I want you to share that journey. Just before you share your journey, I remember one of the things I loved about you, where you were focusing on women and you were doing relationships, and remember it was like health, all of these different things, and it was really different. Yes. And then I think you got to a point when you were like, most of the women wanted you to help their partners or the men in their life, and then it was like you realized that you're still helping women indirectly by helping the men and so on. And everyone knows, for me, you know, the most important person on the planet to me is my wife. So anybody that ever helps me, it's like I always think you're serving my wife by helping me, right? So I want to make sure that I get that across and honor you for that. So please do share about the journey. What did Dimple go through to get to where she's at? How have you got to be doing these great things?
It's so, honestly, you're so right, Harry, with what you just said. The reason I support men is really selfish, actually. It's because I know that if I can support men, it will help the women, it will help the wives. And the reason I do this is because I am a wife of a super successful entrepreneur, CEO, serial entrepreneur, right? And I have been married with this beautiful man for 25 years. We have two daughters, 22 and 16. And the reason for this journey is because I nearly destroyed our marriage. Literally, we were heading for a divorce on our 25th wedding anniversary, and we planned it like a business strategy. It wasn't that we'd fallen out of love, it was that we hadn't been taught the tools, the strategies on how to do marriage, right? The partnership of marriage. And so what I realize now is the most important partnership in your life is the one with your beloved. The most important, hands down, right? So all these successful businessmen go into business, and women as well go into business, into partnerships, and they put so much energy, strategy, the way the partnership's going to work, who's going to do this role, who's going to do that role. And what I realized that my husband and I had never done that in our marriage. We never sat down and gone, right, what are our goals? What are our individual goals? What's the end point? And then reverse strategy back, right? How do we achieve the end point? Who does that? We were 17 when we fell in love. And when it's matters of the heart, you don't go into logic.
Yep.
And that's the beauty of it. And also it's the nemesis of it. Because you can find that you end up going separate ways. And so helping couples now have that synergy, that language, those rules, I help them rewrite their love story.
Yeah, beautiful. But what made you shift and change? Because you just shared that you was heading toward divorce, and now you're a person that is the go-to person in the elite performance world. But it's like I want to help on my people aren't they got to have courage to come and see you and share their most biggest pain. Like we've always said, that our greatest relationship is the one who we choose, that this is the one, right? So what happened for you? Give people a little bit of the flavor, like what happened and how did you get that transformation? Give a little bit more on your journey there.
All right, absolutely, yeah, Harry. So my husband and I, we've been married 25 years, and like I said, serial entrepreneur. And round about, I would say, year 15, I was like, I was so fed up with what I believed was that he was choosing work over me every time. I felt the lowest priority, and I started to resent him. And I felt like I'm here raising the children, working hard. I had my own career. And I felt like I was doing it alone. The number of times I actually said to him, I'm a single parent. Except
there's probably many women that are watching this or listening in that will go, I can relate to that. But please continue.
Absolutely, Harry. I just felt like not only was I a single parent, but I was a single parent with the disadvantage of having to tidy up and clean up after a man.
I'm staying silent on that one.
And that's truly how I felt. So we went through a period where we were just fighting constantly. And then we went through a period where it was past the salt kind of conversation. Living with a best friend, living with, a roommate. And so the intimacy and the passion was there, but it wasn't great. And if I'm honest, I kind of lost who I was. I'd given up on the relationship, and I was too scared to leave. And we'd got comfortable just existing. he was busy striving to create this incredible life for us. And yes, we were beginning to get that. And I was busy wondering why he's doing it when he may not have a wife to come home to.
Yeah.
No,
and then what changed? What changed?
What changed? Great question. So, year 20 of our marriage, this was when I left my job, my part-time job in the National Health Service, because I was also doing my coaching business alongside. And I went fully into the coaching. I dived deep into the coaching, and I took the leap of faith, and I gave up the secure income. And it was at that point I had a business coach, and she introduced me to Tony Robbins. No idea who this guy was, right? So I went along to my first UPW because I thought, oh, he's coming to England. Brilliant. I'll go see who he is. That's where I actually met you. And went along, and by day 2, something inside of me, and this is where my spiritual connection came in, my intuition kicked in, and I was signing on the dotted line for this thing called Platinum Partners. I had no idea what it meant. I hadn't even traveled by myself ever, because I'd have the children with me all the time. So this is the first time me going to London by myself, traveling by myself. Then I'm signing up to this thing that I didn't even realize would mean I would be traveling the world by myself. Like, this is the level of how much I get lost. If we go to a restaurant, it doesn't even have to be a new one, and we go into the toilet or the restroom, and if there are too many doors, you
phone someone to come and get you.
Because it's like, and of course there are more than one door in the ladies', right? There's so many cubicles, right?
And there's always more than one door in life, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So that confusion of which door. And so I signed up for something called Platinum Partners, and I rang my husband up at midnight, and I said, I've done something really crazy. Like, please don't shout at me. And he doesn't shout, he just gets passionate. But in my head, it was all shouty, right? And with hindsight, thinking it through, he probably thought she's had an affair. Because remember, we were on the road to divorce, right? We were planning it like a business strategy, all the assets and everything for our 25th wedding anniversary, because that's when the girls would be old enough in our heads to understand. Yeah. So I rang him and I said, listen, I've done something crazy. Please don't shout. And I vomited out the words. I've joined Platinum Partners, and it's at that time $75,000. Didn't have the money, Harry. Just started my business. It was going really well, really well. I was top of my game. I didn't have $75,000, right? Never mind all the travel costs on top of that. And here was the drop the mic moment, his response. This was my first awakening of what am I not seeing? And it was, he said to me, listen, 20 odd years ago, you took a job. You were the main breadwinner. You worked 6 days a week and raised the so that I could follow my dream of being a businessman. So the way I see this now, it's your turn. It's an investment in your business.
There you go.
What was I not seeing? What was I not seeing? And the reason I joined that year was because there was an event called Relationship, and it was for Platinum Partners only. And me and my superb 2 decades worth of coaching expert thought, right. Well,
you met humility.
He clearly needs fixing. Right? No humility, Harry. This was me taking him to the big guy because he needs fixing, right? Yeah. I'm perfect. He's not, right? Or was I wrong? Because the turning point was an intervention with Tony where he made me realize that actually I can't fix anybody. If I want something to change, I have to look within. And that's what I did. Tony broke me down.
That's what I meant by you had a date with humility at that point there.
Yeah, I so did. And during that 2-hour intervention, halfway through, I got down voluntarily in front of 500 people on my hands and knees in front of my man to beg for forgiveness. Because I'd inadvertently demasculated him. I'd inadvertently lost the soul of him and me. And, many women watching this will say, well, what about him? And the truth is, ladies, we have the power. We lead. We lead. When you realize that these beautiful men, I went from a man hater, blaming him for all my heartache, to truly believing that men are a gift from God. And that's because their souls, I learned in that, it's making me cry, I learned in that intervention and at that event, the number one reason men go into a relationship, their drive, their motivation, is not what I thought, which was, yeah, he's just after sex and he likes to have a pretty woman on his arm. This beautiful man, his number one reason for being in this relationship was to make me happy.
And you know what it is? This is it. I've got the blessing of knowing your husband is a very dear brother to me now, and I want to make sure that the people that are listening and watching, they may still be in that place where they're questioning those things. It's like it's okay for you, and I'm so glad that you shared what you shared, because I want people to understand that Dimple Thakrar didn't just wake up one day, hey, I'm going to be this spiritual relationship coach and you help these executives. It's gone through that journey, and we're going to get to a part in this episode where we'll draw on some other tools and strategies from you that people can use, because they may still be in that journey where whoever their partner is, right, that they still can't see what you see. So I want to be maybe give us a bit of a flavour of some of the work that you do now, or who you do it with, and the type of transformations you create, so people can get a flavour of how you're helping people currently.
Yeah, thank you, Harry. And before I go into that, I just want to make it really clear that this is not a blame game. It's not saying that the women are wrong or the men are wrong. It's simply saying that nobody teaches you the ABC of relationship. We learn ABC at school to read. We learn 1, 2, 3 for maths. But relationship skills and strategy is like just to realize that for years, and you may be one of these women, for years I assumed that the reason he wasn't responding in the way that I expected him to, and why was it that my friends could do that and why they get it, like they get when not to give me the solution, they get when to just listen. Why doesn't he? And that's because, if I can gift you ladies one thing, it's because we assume that they are hairy women, that they are actually, right?
Yeah.
Respond as a woman. And that's the first myth I want to dispel. When you can realize that his goals, his driver, his hormones, his brain, it's a completely different operating system, right? And that's why we're attracted to them. That's the magnetism. If they were the same as our friends, we wouldn't have an intimate relationship. You don't want to sleep with your friends, right? You actually want to have intimacy. And so when we can come to the point where, and this was a journey, and this was strategies and working, and it's daily work, Harry. I want people to know this is daily, intentional work. Because my primitive brain will go into, am I safe? Does he protect me? And my primitive brain, even this morning, I was like, having an internal battle with myself that, no, he doesn't really love me because he's got out of bed and he's not even giving me a kiss, and he should know that I need a kiss and a cuddle. And I've said it so many times, and wow. And before I know it, I've built a whole story. Yeah. And I had to stop myself and go, hold on. No, he's focused right now on what he needs to achieve. His brain is single focused. Our brains are diverse. We can focus on so many things at once. And that's the beauty of the differences. So when you can honor the differences, and learning about those differences is one of the keys. Actually, firstly, appreciating that you are different. We just are. Yeah. It's like iPhones and what's the other one? Androids, right? Try working a BlackBerry and an iPhone in the same way. It's just not going to work. Right?
Some amazing gems there, because, like you said, our businesses, our bodies, our relationships, they're a daily. It's not even like the word that I'm looking for is that it's a daily blessing. When we go and give something each day, it's something that we've got to contribute to and grow each day and work on each day. And then you also talked about, understanding that people are wired different. Just the same with children. Speaking to children, expecting them to understand and do and operate like how we would as grown adults. And, so tolerance, the word that I was hearing with that, getting to that place of tolerance by understanding and awareness. And I know there's so much more that you can share, but let's hear one thing, and maybe like someone that you're working with right now, especially like I always want people to get a flavor of how the guests that are bringing making those differences in other people's lives as well as theirs. So go ahead, Sheila.
Oh gosh, Harry, the one person at the moment that I'm working with that really springs to mind is this beautiful man. He's an executive and he's super successful. He's sold 7 of his businesses so far have gone public. 7. Right? The latest one he sold to one of the top 3 social media platforms, right? So this guy is super successful. And it's interesting, we met through coincidence. That's another story for another day. Just so random the way we met. And the first conversation that I ever had with him was a complimentary interview, because I interview all my clients to see whether I will take them on, because they have to be ready to do the work, right? And I said to him, so what would be your measure of success working with me? What is the end goal? Because remember, I reverse engineer everything, right? And he said, wow, Dimple, this is impossible for you to achieve, but if you could achieve this, this is a miracle. And he said to me, I've achieved so much success in my life, and the one area that I've never achieved, and it still leaves me feeling unfulfilled. This is a multimillionaire, right? Private jets, the works, everything, right? And he said, the one regret that I have is divorcing the mother of my children. The one regret I have. And he said, we've been divorced 5 years and we haven't had a civil conversation yet. We speak through lawyers and through the children, and it breaks my heart. And he said, I remember it distinctly. It was November 18th. We had this conversation. And he said to me, if I could get an invitation to have Christmas Day with my ex-wife, I don't want to get back with her, but to have Christmas Day in the house, in our family home that I'm paying for. And he was a bit begrudging about the whole, right?
That came across,
right? In the family home with the children, that would be all my dreams come true. He said, to have a beautiful friendship back with my ex-wife, right? And so I said, okay, that's doable. And his face was like, what? And anyway, we didn't start working together until the first week in December, because I had a wait list. And we had 3 sessions. And by session 2, he was having coffees with his ex-wife, beautiful conversations. She was ringing him every day. They were having communication about the children. The children were older, like 22 and 16, right? But having this, the children were more relaxed because they weren't the go-between, right? He rang me Christmas Day at 10:30 at night. I don't normally answer the phone on Christmas Day at 10:30 at night. But this is how much I care. Like, I am so in love with my clients. This is not work. This is my mission, right? He rang me Christmas Day in tears. He said, Dimple, I just had 10 beautiful hours in my own home with my ex-wife and my children, having the most magical Christmas Day. She rearranged her parents to come earlier so that they didn't contaminate the bubble, you know, with the whole COVID thing. She did 2 Christmas dinners, one for them and then one for me and the family. He said, I sat in my cinema room watching, I think it was a football or movie or something, with his son. He said, I cried because it's a miracle.
100%. Especially because he thought it's something that was impossible. But thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
That's just one aspect. There were so many other things. We worked with his ex-girlfriend, his current girlfriend, like in that time. But that for me was a pivotal point. His business started to improve, his business relation, he got rid of the dead weight, so many things, right?
I felt it as you were speaking. The reason I asked that is I always want people to get that flavour and feel why you do what you do, and why it's so fulfilling that you do it. So as we get to wrap, I want to take from you in the time that we have here for the viewers some tool, strategy that you can share with them that would enrich their relationships or their lives, straight from Dimple Thakrar. So what would you like to share with them? Go for it.
Yeah, what comes to mind, Harry, is that I developed a model actually while I was working with you called a heart model. And this model is so brilliant. And if I can just share very quickly the key elements. Yeah, so it's the heart model, and it starts with H. H is for honesty. So get real with yourself. Be honest with yourself, right? And one of the questions I ask people when I work with them is, truthfully, would you live with you? Would you live with you? When I ask myself that question, I remember being the bitch from hell. I wouldn't want to live with me. The way I was speaking to him was awful. Like, if somebody spoke to me like that, I wouldn't tolerate it, right? So get real, get honest with yourself. Then there's E, educate yourself. Doesn't have to be me. It can, buy a book. I'm writing my 3rd book right now on these very key principles, right? So get real, get an education, right? There's loads of free stuff. I have loads of free content on my Instagram page. Get an education. Articulate the A. Communication is key. Learn really good communication strategies. It's key, right? Yeah. R, resolve. Resolve the indifferences. Draw a line. Decide that the past is the past. Because if you keep bringing up the past, you are never going to get any resolution. You've got to draw a line. And then the T is test new waters. Try new things, right? If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you're going to get the same results. And also, when you've been in a relationship for a long time, you go into the law of familiarity, and that creates boredom. If you want to spice it up, you've got to try new things constantly. And that requires effort, and it means it keeps it fresh. So that's my 5-step question.
There's a gift from the heart, from Dimple Thakrar to bring heart into your relationships. So, rewind the video, check it again. And in fact, like Dimple already mentioned, it's like Dimple, I'm sure viewers will want to continue to be educated by you. On top of that, it's like maybe just as we wrap, share what's next for you and how can people stay in touch with you and follow the journey.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Harry. Yeah, so what's next for me? I am homing in on working with executives, because what I've realized is when I work with thought leaders, the ripple effect is just extraordinary. I mean, the impact on my clients' children, on the people they have in their organizations. And so what I've realized is my time is best spent working with the leaders. However, I do know that there are people out there who'd really benefit from my work. So I do have a free group on Facebook, the Love Tribe, that I put in loads of information because not everybody can afford me. And also my third book that I'm writing, which is going to have loads of, it's a guide on, for men, and I've not quite honed in on the title yet, it'll come, but the concept is very much what she wants to tell you but doesn't know how. And then there's
it's
also
a great
going to be
title
one
in itself, right?
Yeah.
So how can people? Yeah, how can people? What's the website? What's the links? How do people find you?
Yeah, so this is my third book. So my other books are on my website as well, and the website is dimple.love. So dimple.love, LOVE.
Beautiful. And on social media, is it what is it? Is it at Dimple Thakrar?
It's so my Instagram is the Love Coach Dimple.
Beautiful.
And if you just go on my website, actually all the links from my social media is there. So
beautiful.
Yeah,
Foundation team will make sure that they put your website underneath the interview. Dimple, we've come to the end, and we could speak for ages and ages and ages. So I just want to really say a heartfelt thank you for taking the time out and sharing not just like one strategy, there was like nuggets all the way through. So thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you being here.
God bless. Thanks, Harry. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Let's wrap this show up as we always do. And I just always end with the same slide. If you've got value from everything that Dimple shared, please write a comment, reach out to her on her site. But if you haven't subscribed to the Harry Singer Foundation show, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe button, like, share, but also you have all the links there, Instagram, the Facebook, and also you have the website where you can find out what we're up to. And if you're willing to and able to donate to our Youth Leadership Summits and our Women's Empowerment Programs. And I want to thank you for joining us, and I look forward to connecting with you on another episode of Empowering Women very soon.